Namaste. Welcome to the lecture series on the subject Applied Thermodynamics. This is module 4, in that part 2, Psychrometrics and Air Conditioning System. So this is lecture number 8 of module 4. Myself Dr. N. Satish Kumar, Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering, Canara Engineering College, Bantwal. Now let us go through the syllabus of this part 2, that is Psychrometrics and Air Conditioning System. So initially you have to study the psychrometric properties of air, few definitions, then psychrometric chart, then you have to analyze air conditioning process, that is heating, cooling, dehumidification and humidification, evaporative cooling, adiabatic mixing of two moist streams, cooling tower, and summer and winter air conditioning systems. Now coming to the definition of psychrometrics. So the study of the properties of air and vapor pertaining to air conditioning problems is called as psychrometry. So here, as you know, air is not a purely air, it is a mixture of air and vapor, because water gets evaporated and also induces into the atmospheric air. So it is a mixture of air and vapor. So in air conditioning systems, so you have to bring the temperature of air to the required condition. So there we need to know, or we need to have the knowledge of this properties of air and vapor in order to design certain such air conditioning systems. Now coming to the definition of dry air, it is a mixture of nitrogen, oxygen and a small percentage of other gases. So usually the small percentage of other gases are neglected and air is considered to be a mixture of nitrogen and oxygen. So air contains 79% of nitrogen and 21% of oxygen by volume, and it has a molecular weight of 29. Whereas on mass basis it is 77% and 23%. Moist air is nothing but the mixture of dry air and the water vapor. Usually the atmospheric air will be the moist air. So it will be a mixture of dry air and the water vapor. The amount of water vapor varies according to the temperature of the air and reaches saturation at one point. So that amount of water vapor that is induced into the atmospheric air, so it depends upon the temperature of the air, and also it reaches the saturation. Then what is saturated air mixture? Saturated air mixture is a mixture of dry air and water vapor in which the partial pressure of the vapor is equal to the saturation pressure of water at the temperature of the mixture. Now here, you know the partial pressure of vapor. So the pressure of air is nothing but pressure of dry air plus pressure of water vapor. That means P, atmospheric pressure, is nothing but PA plus PV. If I write here, so P is equal to, that is total pressure of air, is equal to pressure of dry air plus pressure of, that is partial pressures, PA and P, pressure of vapor, partial pressure of air and partial pressure of vapor. If this partial pressure of vapor is equal to the saturation pressure. Now what is saturation pressure? As all of you studied under the chapter pure substance in subject basic thermodynamics. So for every saturation temperature there is a saturation pressure. Now that is the pressure or temperature corresponding to which the phase change takes place. Usually from we are talking about here is from liquid to vapor or vapor to liquid. Now here water vapor, how you see water is vaporized and induced into air. So its pressure, partial pressure, if it is equal to the saturation pressure at the given temperature of the mixture, which is nothing but the dry bulb temperature, the temperature measured using ordinary thermometer, so then such a air mixture is called as saturated air mixture. So remember, partial pressure of air, vapor should be equal to the saturation pressure of the vapor at the mixture temperature. Now unsaturated air mixture. So it is a mixture of dry air and superheated water vapor. You see, though it is unsaturated here, it is a mixture of dry air and superheated. So why it is unsaturated? The partial pressure of the vapor being less than the saturation pressure of water at the mixture temperature. So partial pressure is less, saturation pressure is more. So if saturation pressure is more, then the temperature is also high. So temperature is more when compared to the partial pressure. So that means actual temperature is more than the saturated. So that is why it is superheated vapor. So at that partial pressure, so it has got certain temperature, but actual temperature is more because saturation pressure is more, partial pressure is less. That means it is above saturation temperature. So anything above saturation temperature for vapor is called as the superheated water vapor. Now supersaturated air mixture. So it is a mixture of dry air and water vapor. So here the partial pressure of the water vapor is greater than the saturation pressure. So here partial pressure is more, but the saturation pressure at the given temperature is less. That means this temperature is also less. So that is called as the super. It is not yet reached the saturation. The water vapor is not yet saturated. So that is why it is called as the supersaturated air mixture, because dry air is a mixture of dry air and the water vapor. Now coming to the one important temperature measurement, that is called as dew point temperature. So what is dew point temperature? When the unsaturated air is cooled, you see unsaturated means here. See, unsaturated air means where the water vapor is in the superheated condition. Try to understand this. In unsaturated air, water vapor is in superheated condition. So when it is cooled at constant pressure, so any water vapor or any vapor within which is in superheated temperature, if it is cooled, so its temperature reduces and reaches the saturation temperature. So as the mixture reaches the saturation temperature corresponding to the partial pressure of water vapor, so this temperature at which condensation of the vapor begins, resulting in the formation of liquid droplets, or which is called as dew, right? So that temperature is called as the dew point temperature. So I repeat, in case of unsaturated air, it is a mixture of dry air and superheated water vapor. So when this air is cooled, so temperature comes down and reaches the saturation temperature corresponding to the partial pressure of water vapor. So here partial pressure is less, actually saturation pressure is more. So temperature reaches to the temperature corresponding to the partial pressure. Now at this temperature, the condensation of vapor begins, resulting in the formation of liquid droplets or dew. This you can observe during early morning, because in the night the temperature reduces and the moisture present in the atmospheric air gets condensed. So you can see the deformation in the early morning in some seasons. Now let us understand what is absolute humidity or specific humidity or humidity ratio. The ratio of mass of vapor to the mass of dry air is called absolute humidity, and it is denoted by omega, the ratio of mass of vapor to the mass of dry air. So air is a mixture of dry air and water vapor, so it is a ratio of vapor to dry air. Try to understand this. So that is what omega is equal to mv by ma, mass of vapor to the mass of air. And using PV is equal to MRT expression, you can substitute for mv as PV by RVT, and for MA as PAV RA in T. So here V is the volume of the mixture, T is the temperature of the mixture, which is constant. Only which variables is the partial pressure of vapor and partial pressure of air, as also gas constant of the vapor and gas constant of air. So after simplification, you will get PVRA by PAR. And also you know that the product of molecular weight and gas constant is nothing but universal gas constant G. So MA into RA is equal to G. Also MV into RV is also equal to G, right? So you can write RA by RG is equal to MV by MA, and if you make substitution in the above expression in the place of RA by RV here, which is nothing but ME by MA, you will get PV by PA into ME by MA. Now MV is nothing but the molecular weight of the vapor, and ME is nothing but molecular weight of air. So vapor is nothing but H2O, H2 is 2, O is 16, so it is 18, and air, if you calculate by proportion of nitrogen and oxygen, you will get as 28.92. Sometimes we approximate it or round it off to 29, and this ratio will be 0.622. So from Dalton's law of partial pressures, you know that P is equal to PA plus PV, or you can write PA is equal to P minus PV. Now if you substitute in the previous expression, so omega is equal to 0.622 PV by PA, and PA is written as P minus PV. So this is the expression for specific humidity, that is omega, as 0.622 PV, that's partial pressure of vapor, divided by P minus PV, where P is the total pressure and PV is the partial pressure of vapor. Now Dalton's law of partial pressures. The total pressure of the mixture of gases is the sum of the partial pressures of exerted by each gas when it occupies the same volume of the mixture at the same temperature of the mixture. Okay, that already we studied under real gases and ideal gases. Now coming to the dry bulb temperature, it is the equilibrium temperature of the mixture indicated by an ordinary thermometer. So any ordinary thermometer if used for the temperature measurement, so that is called as the dry bulb temperature. Now, wet bulb temperature is the temperature indicated by a wet bulb thermometer which has its temperature sensitive element. So, which is the sensitive element here? Temperature sensitive element, that is nothing but bulb, wherein mercury or any other thermometric fluid is present. So, if this bulb is covered with a wick soaked in water, so then the temperature measured will be wet bulb temperature. So, it is a thermometer where this bulb is covered with the wick soaked in water. So you can see here, so this is the dry bulb temperature and this is the wet bulb temperature. So here you can see the bulb of this thermometer is covered with the wick and it is made to touch a water reservoir because of siphon action. So this wick will always be wet and the air passing through this will get saturated and it gives the temperature of the temperature which is called as wet bulb temperature. Now coming to the relative humidity, it is defined as the ratio of partial pressure of water vapor in a mixture to the saturation pressure of water at the dry bulb temperature. Relative humidity in relation to the saturation pressure. You see, ratio of partial pressure of water vapor, that is actually actual pressure at that moment of time, to the saturation pressure of the water at the dry bulb temperature. So at that time, what is the temperature and corresponding saturation pressure? So that's where the air will get saturated. But partial pressure may be less or more than that, right? So usually it will be less. So partial pressure divided by the saturation pressure. So that is called as the relative humidity. So it will be always expressed in percentage. Using perfect gas equation, PV into VV is equal to Pg into Vg. So here this is used for dry air. So you can write phi is equal to Vg by Vv, or also you can express in terms of density as rho V by rho G, because this is specific volume here. So 1 by specific volume is the density. So Vg by Vv becomes rho V by rho G. So that can also be used as the expression to find out the relative humidity. Hence relative humidity is also defined as the ratio of the mass of water vapor in a certain volume of moist air at a given temperature to the mass of water vapor in the same volume of saturated air. See, mass of water vapor in a certain volume of moist air to the mass of water vapor in the same volume of saturated air at the same temperature. So omega is equal to, you can write it as 0.622 into Pg by Pa. Now degree of saturation or saturation ratio is defined as the ratio of specific humidity of actual air to the specific humidity of saturated air at the same temperature. So ratio of specific humidity of actual air to the specific humidity of, if the air is saturated, what would have been its specific humidity? So that if you take the ratio, so that is called as the degree of saturation or saturation ratio. It is denoted by mu and it is nothing but omega by omega g, where omega is the actual specific humidity of actual air and this is the specific humidity of saturated air. And if you substitute in terms of 0.622 PV by P minus PV and here in terms of PG by P minus PG, so you will get PV by PG into P minus PG divided by P minus PV. And after proper simplification, here PV and PG, right? So mu 1 minus PG by P is taken outside, 1 minus PV by P here also, because both numerator and denominator P is taken outside and both gets cancelled. So PV by PG is nothing but 5. So inside the bracket you end up with 1 minus Pg by P divided by 1 minus PV by P. Now coming to the enthalpy of moist air. So enthalpy is nothing but the total heat content of the moist air. As I told earlier, moist air means the moment you come to know about the word, so you should understand that it is a mixture of dry air plus water vapor. So enthalpy of moist air is nothing but enthalpy of dry air plus enthalpy of water vapor associated with that. Okay. So H is equal to, see, that's the enthalpy of moist air is equal to enthalpy of dry air is written as H air, and enthalpy of water vapor. Now here you have to take the specific humidity because the moisture content is less. So corresponding omega value you have to take and you have to multiply by enthalpy of vapor. So H air is nothing but H is equal to Cp delta T. So it is Cp into dry bulb temperature, and this is omega into H vapor. So here H air is nothing but Cp of air into dry bulb temperature. So Cp of air is nothing but 1.005. So you can write it as 1.005 into dry bulb temperature. So here Cp is the specific heat of air, as I just told just now. It is 1.005 kilojoules per kg per Kelvin. H vapor is nothing but, you see, it is a vapor. So vapor means it is a enthalpy of vapor is nothing but enthalpy of dry or saturated air, that is Hg, plus specific heat of vapor into the temperature difference, that is dry bulb temperature minus dew point temperature. Because anything above dew point, so that is a superheated temperature. So dry bulb temperature is the superheated temperature minus dew point is the temperature at which the condensation takes place. So TdB, that is dry bulb temperature, minus TdP. So this is the degree of saturation. So if this is multiplied by specific heat of vapor Cps and added to the enthalpy at the dry saturated point, so that gives the total enthalpy of moist air, enthalpy of vapor. So that is H vapor is equal to Hg is taken as 2500, and this is Cp into TdB minus TdP. So TdP is neglected, so it is taken as 1.88 TdB. So Cps is the specific heat of water vapor. It is taken as 1.88 kilojoules per kg per Kelvin, and dew point temperature is assumed to be 0. So therefore you can write the expression for enthalpy of moist air as H is equal to 1.005 into dry bulb temperature plus omega into 2500 plus 1.88 into dry bulb temperature, and the unit of this enthalpy is kilojoules per kg of dry air. It's not just dry per kg, it is kilojoules per kg of dry. Now let us study a very important equation called as Carrier equation. So the use of this equation is to find out the partial pressure of water vapor in air when you are given WBT, DBT and WBT, that is dry bulb temperature and wet bulb temperature, and it has been proposed by one scientist called as Dr. Carrier. Okay, you might have heard his name because there is a company called Carrier which is very famous for AC and refrigeration machines. So he has developed this equation. So that is given by PV is equal to, that is partial pressure of air at a given dry bulb and wet bulb temperature, is equal to Pg at wet bulb, that is partial pressure of the saturated vapor at wet bulb temperature, minus P is the total pressure, okay, of moist air. So this is Pg wet bulb into temperature difference, that is dry bulb minus wet bulb divided by 1547 minus 1.44 times T wet bulb temperature. So here Pg wet bulb is the saturation pressure at wet bulb temperature, partial pressure of saturated water, partial pressure of saturated water at wet bulb temperature. Okay, this is partial pressure of water vapor, but this is saturated vapor. So this is at wet bulb saturation pressure. Okay, this is total pressure, dry bulb and wet bulb temperature. So with this I conclude this lecture number 8, that is the first of the psychrometric and air conditioning, and we will continue with the theory in the lecture number 9. Thank you. Bye till then.